show you my collection because I plan on selling most of it, honestly. I'm just, just tired of having a lot of stuff, which is the reason why I canceled it a while back, because I was just accumulating more and more things, and I don't need stuff in my life to that extent. So first, let me start off with my favorite cartoon of all time. Hey Arnold. This is an Arnold bobblehead. Arnold is my favorite cartoon because it's the most realistic. It just seems like slice of life. A slice of life kind of cartoon, and I like that kind of genre. And it's one of those things that just reminds you of childhood. Being a kid in a city, but, well, I didn't grow up in a city like New York. What I really loved this show growing up, and I rewatched it as an adult a few years ago, and loved it still. So this is the main character, Arnold. He has a football head. He's nice, easygoing, helpful. He's one of those kids that always gives advice and helps his friends out. Did you know his last name is actually Shortman? They revealed that in the Jungle movie. Arnold Shortman. Here's a Gerald bobblehead. Gerald is Arnold's best friend. He's a cool guy. He was always talented, like in singing, and he was the storyteller of the group. I think Gerald's last name is Johansson. Gerald Johansson. He has an older brother that was like one of the popular kids, and he'd kind of bully Gerald. And he has a younger sister. I don't remember her name. She was kind of bratty. But yeah, Gerald is a nice guy too. So that's Gerald. Look at his teeth. Here's the last bobblehead. Helga G. Pataki. Helga was a big bully, especially to Arnold. But the reason why, she has a mark on her. Wow. The reason why she bullied him so much was because she was in love with him. Like, to the point of being a stalker and very obsessive. She had a shrine of him in her room made out of his gum. His bubble gum. I never thought much about it back then, but if you think about it today, that's kind of creepy. Not kinda, very creepy. But she was just a love-struck child. And Helga had a bad family life. Her parents only really cared about her older sister, Olga. Olga was the perfect golden child. Helga couldn't stand it. They never paid her much attention. very sad, especially in one episode where Helga had to go to therapy and she was reminiscing about her past. Very sad. But yeah, I always liked how Helga was very tomboyish, but yet she still wore a dress and a bow. It's such a contradiction. You don't see that very often. And she's incredibly smart and poetic. A very good poet, and she's just very, very smart. Probably smarter than Phoebe. She's actually my favorite character. She's very complex. Here's a Gerald. Hold on. Here is Gerald again. You can put things in here like pencils, pens. Could you grow a plant in here? I'm not sure. Look at his tall hair. It's like Marge Simpson. I wonder if they were purposely going for that. It's cool. I just think it's weird how, look, his head. It's like it just keeps going. That's so weird. I like this, but I don't know if I'm going to keep it. It makes nice sounds though, right? Next up, Stoop Kid. Stoop Kid's afraid to leave his stoop. It's hard to get into these corners. It's dusty because these are just on my shelf as display. This is Stoop Kid. He was in an episode where well, he was sort of a bully too, but from his stoop. And one time, who was it? It was either Harold or just random kids, I don't know. They were kind of being mean to him, but he couldn't leave his stoop. And when they realized that, everybody started making fun of him, and they chanted, "Stoop Kid's afraid to leave his stoop. Stoop Kid's afraid to leave his stoop." Kind of reminds me of agoraphobia, honestly. I don't know if you know about it, but it's when people can't really leave their house. Not unless they have like another person with them, typically. But in the episode, Arnold helps him to overcome his fears. I think it was by using the book, The Train That Could. So he was like, I think I can. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's... Unless I'm mixing that up with another episode. I have a bad memory, honestly. But yeah. Was it that? I don't know. He eventually got over his fears, and then Harold started to make fun of him. And then he jumped off his stoop to run after Harold. Here's something that they gave us. It's a wallet, but it's made out of paper. I don't know if anybody actually used it for that. It says name Arnold, born, yes. That's what Arnold's actual ID said in the show. His ID or his bus pass, I don't remember. I remember he was on the bus when we saw it. Here's an Arnold Plushie. This one I'm definitely keeping because I love it. It's a plushie of Helga's locket. Yeah, she has a heart locket with Arnold's picture in it. And she'll just go off on her own, in her own little world, and talk to it about her love for him. Oh, Arnold. She'd always say something like that. Oh, Arnold. Move it, football head. Move it, bucko. The last thing I have of Hey Arnold is this Abner Plushie. Why can't you see him well? Abner is Arnold's pet pig. I think he used to be his parents' pig. I think they showed that in an episode or the Jungle movie or something like that. But yeah, this is Abner. Every time Arnold would open the door to his house, which is a boarding house, a bunch of animals would run out, and I'm pretty sure Abner would be one of them. I remember an episode where these people wanted to turn Abner into a football. Because they say footballs are made of pigskin, right? Are they still? Dusty, dusty, dusty. Let's move on to the next cartoon. Another one that I really love. Rocco's Modern Life. Which is a show about this guy Rocco. He's a wallaby from Australia. He has an Australian accent. And I guess it's just about his life. I love Rocco. It was one of those shows that had like a lot of hidden innuendos that you don't realize as a kid. I remember watching some with my mom back in the day. Rocco worked as a cashier at a comic book store. I remember one episode when he got fired. Rocco's a nice guy. He's very timid and nervous in a lot of situations, and he overreacts a lot too when things go wrong. You know, sort of like how Courage the Cowardly Dog would. Love that show. Here's Heifer, one of Rocco's best friends. Heifer Wolf, and his last name is Wolf because he was adopted by wolves, a family of wolves. He never even knew he was adopted until one episode. When Rocco, I think it was Rocco, he was like, he mentioned it out loud and they all paused. Because they never told Heifer he was adopted. It's so silly. Heifer is one of those characters that are really dumb. And he loves to eat, as you can see. He loves to eat, as you can see. Heifer's really funny, actually. I like his character. Here's Filbert, Rocco's other best friend. Filbert's a big nerd. He would be at the comic book store and he had like, he was a germaphobe. He'd be reading a comic book and he'd say, you turn the page, wash your hands. Filbert and Heifer would always fight. It was funny to me. I always loved when they argued with each other. Filbert looks like this because this is the episode where he was singing this one song. Come crawl with me, oh, let's crawl away. Come crawl with me, yes, let's crawl away. He doesn't normally have hair. But yeah, he's nerdy, he's timid. He actually eventually has a wife who's a cat, and they both together they have children. I don't know if this was ever actually in an episode. I think it might not be. I really can't remember. And yes, I have seen all the episodes. I even have the DVD collection of Rocco and Hey Arnold. I just have a bad memory with these things. But I'm pretty sure this clock is in the intro. I don't remember. The last thing Rocco's modern life related is this plushie of Spunky. This is Rocco's dog. I'm sorry, but something about Spunky always got on my nerves. I guess because he just caused trouble in the most ridiculous ways. Like, I don't know, there's one episode where he falls in love with a mop and he won't leave it alone, and I guess it just grossed me out back in the day. But yeah, this is Spunky. And Rocco, you can hear him at times yell Spunky, because Spunky's getting into trouble. My dog keeps making noises in the background. I'm so sorry if you can hear that. Oh my goodness. I remember one time Spunky was drinking water out of a bowl and he was panting, and the bowl would fill up again with his drool and he would just drink it up again and keep doing that over and over. I don't know, just things like that. I guess it just grossed me out back then. On to the next cartoon. Real monsters. I remember watching this show every day, but I honestly can't even remember hardly anything about it. I know it was about monsters scaring kids, and they were in a school. But I really can't remember much about it, and that's crazy. I literally watched it every day. But this character, his name is Crumb. And he holds his eyeballs up. They're not attached to him. Sometimes he'd lose them or the eyeballs would get away from him. I really like this, so I don't know, I might keep this one. Crumb, crumb, crumb. Here are the three friends, Ickis, Crumb, and Oblina. Did they used to pop out of toilets? Is that what they did? I really don't remember. I think they might have, because I think they lived in the sewers or something like that. Wow, I should rewatch this show. I know I liked it back then. I really like Oblina. Her lips used to be able to come off her, and she could turn into different shapes. Ickis, I don't remember if he had like a special gift. I remember his dad was like one of the best monsters they ever had. never live up to him. Oh, I remember kids usually weren't scared of Ickis because they saw him as a rabbit. That's funny. Here's a Rubik's Cube. Crumb. Ickis. Oblina. Real monsters. All three of them together. And did they used to like eating trash? I think they did. But yeah, I never messed with this because I would never be able to put it back together. I guess I could if I looked up a tutorial online. But I do not have the patience for that, I guess. And here's the last thing. It's not technically related to this cartoon. It has different cartoons in it. They are in it as well, like here. But the funny thing about this puzzle is that the actual puzzle is not even like this picture. Like, there are some parts that are the same, but there's so much different about it. So silly. Things that I have. Let's go to Spongebob. This is Spongebob surfing, but this surfboard always comes off. I don't know how it stays on properly. I'm just gonna leave it. SpongeBob technically was the 90s because it came out in 1999, but I don't really add him into the Nick box much because he was so late in the game. But here's one thing they brought in when I ripped my pants. Who doesn't like SpongeBob? I think it's weird when somebody doesn't like him, sorry. I remember in 2nd grade, my sister's best friend at the time was in 2nd grade. Wow. No, it was 4th grade. Her best friend at the time said that she didn't like SpongeBob, and I was so shocked. I didn't know that that was possible. So silly. It's okay if you don't like him. He's not for everyone, but at least I love the first few seasons of SpongeBob. I still say so many SpongeBob references to this day. Here's SpongeBob's hat. It came with this spatula, but the spatula is downstairs in the kitchen. Cool. If you want to cosplay as him, you can have his hat and his spatula. The rest that I have is basically miscellaneous, like here's Cat Dog. I actually have a Cat Dog flash drive that they gave before to have Cat Dog bookends, but it's being used right now. So this is the other Cat Dog thing that I have. It always comes off its base. serious one, and Dog was silly and dumb. But they're brothers. Here's Angry Beavers. I used to watch all of these shows a lot, but for some reason I can't remember a lot of it. I don't remember a lot of this show either. I'm pretty sure his name is Norbit, and his is Dag. I'm pretty sure. Wow, I can't believe I forgot it. You don't know how much I watched these shows. Did they always have, like, whiskers coming out of these parts? Why does this look so weird? That looks so odd. What? Look at that. That's weirdly placed. Is he actually? I don't think that's how they're supposed to look. Oops, I hope that wasn't loud. Yet another show I barely remember anything about. Rocket Power. Focus. This is Otto. In Rocket Power, they liked to do snowboarding. They also skateboarded, skated, surfed. They did all of that. I don't remember much. I know he has a sister named Reggie. I think she's older. And they have a dad, and they call him Raimundo, who owns he owns a shack. Like, what was it? They sold the food, I think. Wow. My memory is failing me. This is also from Rocket Power. It's just a finger board. I used to play with these as a kid. They had them as a McDonald's toy back in the day, and I would play with it. Good times. Here's this thing from Guts. I don't remember what this green thing is called. I'm pretty sure it has a name. But as I said, I forgot so much of this stuff. So sad, right? But I did watch all of it, and all the time too. I watched Nickelodeon all the time. I watched Cartoon Network all the time. I watched Disney too, but probably not as much as those two channels. This, I think this was a part of Double Dare 2000, right? They had to like pick his nose to get something out, I think. Yeah, this is a tissue holder. You put tissues in here and then you take it out of his nose. So silly. Nickelodeon was really silly back in the day. It's crusty right here for some reason. I don't even know how this happens. Just like the squishies, these all just stay on my shelf and they don't get touched or anything. Pick your nose, pick your nose. Here is a piggy bank, and this is from the show. Oh my goodness, how could I forget this one? Legends of the Hidden Temple. Wow. This one came like this. It came broken. Sadly. Used to watch this every morning. I think his name is Almag. But yeah, it was about a show where kids would compete in teams. Like the blue barracudas and the purple parrots and yeah, like names like that. I don't remember the rest. Used to love this show. And this is also part of Legends of the Hidden Temple, the Silver Monkey. At the end, the kids would have to assemble this quickly, but it would be hard for them because time would be running out, and I guess they're also nervous. So they would be like, it would be a giant one, of course, not this tiny thing. But they would struggle to put it on, and sometimes time would run out before they would be able to finish it. I'm going to keep the Silver Monkey. I think it's so cool. I like it. Did you ever wish you were on one of those game shows? I don't know if I ever thought about that back in the day. The Silver Monkey. And the very last thing I have is the Rugrats. I probably have the most stuff related to the Rugrats. The Rugrats was very popular back in the day. Oh yeah, they made a new version, right? I wonder how that's going. But yeah, this is the very main character, Tommy Pickles. And he's 1 year old, a 1-year-old. And him and his friends would sneak out of their playpen and go on adventures. They had very active imaginations, and they couldn't speak properly, you know, like how really little kids can't. He looks like this because there was an episode where Dee Dee, his mom, took him to school because she's a teacher or something like that. She took him to school with her, and this cool guy gave him the sunglasses, I'm pretty sure. Well, yeah, I really loved this show, of course. One of my favorites back then, too. Such a good show. The first movie I ever saw in theaters was actually the Rugrats movie with my mom and my sister. That's a good movie. These are Chucky Finster's glasses. They got scratched up somehow. This came in the very first Nick box. It came with this and Chucky's shirt. You know what? Where is Chucky's shirt? I don't even know where it is. Shouldn't I have it somewhere? That's really weird. But yeah, these are his glasses for if you want to cosplay as him. And here is Chucky himself, and I put hair clips in him. I didn't want to take them out. But this is Chucky Finster, Tommy's a very best friend. He was a big scaredy cat, and he had bad allergies. So he talked like this because he was always so stuffy. Chucky was scared of everything, but at the same time he was very brave because he would eventually go along with what Tommy was saying, you know, or even like rescue Tommy at times or situations. He was 2 years old in the show. His very first word was no, I remember. His mom sadly passed away when he was very young. So his dad raised him. Well, also, eventually he gets a stepmom. Here's Reptar. This was the baby's favorite character, favorite show. They loved the Reptar. Reptar, Reptar, da 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 da, Reptar. Reptar. He's no ordinary monster. He's a lizard with a heart of gold. Don't believe the lies you've been told. Does anybody remember that song? I see sweetness when I look into those large yellow eyes. He's got a sensitive stare, one that can hypnotize. He may be rough on the outside. And here is a Reptar bar. I actually have a Reptar bar that I never opened. It turns your tongue green. Reptar School. Here is a ticket to Reptar on Ice. This was actually something that held pins. I think, yeah, it was related to Reptar on Ice. But they put it on this fake ticket. Isn't that so cute? For 3 performances only, the Nick Bog presents at the County Coliseum, Reptar on Ice, enamel pin set, Sunday, March 8th, 1992, 2 o'clock p.m. Look, I'm in section 1, yes! Row A, seat 7. This is so cute, I love it. And I also have this Reptar on Ice. This was actually a timer. So it had something on the bottom, a timer. And then it fell and it broke. See, it's glued back together. Kids on the ice. What's the dinosaur to do when there's kids on the ice? Quick, somebody call their mom. Here's Tommy's ball. I think this is so cute. Oh. And here is Spike, Tommy's beloved dog. He was a sweet dog, but also he would cause trouble sometimes, not that often. I like Spike. And the movie where they did a crossover with the Rugrats and the Wild Thornberrys Elsa was able to talk to animals. And last but not least, my most favorite things that I will never get rid of. Cynthia. She's a really cool dancer. Cynthia. Look into the groove now. This is Swamp Cynthia. I think what happened in this episode was that the babies, was it the babies? They might have, I think they tied Cynthia onto a balloon and Angelica was facing trial or something like that. And then they were like, Chucky was holding the balloon. They didn't believe her, so like they were like, let go of the balloon, and then Chucky did. I think that's what this episode is from. Is it? Maybe I'm thinking of something else. If anybody remembers, please let me know. And like, she went on a whole adventure and got dirty and gross, but ended up finding her way back to Angelica anyway. And then this is the original Cynthia doll. I love it. I love her. I've wanted to cosplay as Angelica in the past, and if I ever do, I would hold Cynthia like how Angelica always did. Cynthia, she's a really cool dancer. Cynthia, boogie to the groove now. She was very popular from the Nick box to the point that people were selling her for a lot of money, like $180 or more. That's how much people wanted her. And the Nick box was only $50 every 4 months. Yeah. Well, with tax and stuff, it came out to more like $60. So imagine that. That's a big profit. But yeah, I love my Cynthia dolls. One time I said to my sister that this was me and this was her. Well, that's all that I have now. I actually have more things that are like downstairs. Like, they gave us Rugrats coasters before, but it's downstairs. A Reptar inflatable where you can put your drinks in. Just things like that. I just kept them somewhere else. A Rocco bag, like a grocery bag type thing that you can zip up into itself. They gave us a mini version of beanbag dolls. I put that in my game bin. And I also have clothing from the Nick box, of course, which some of them I'm selling currently, because it's not really anything I'm going to use. Well, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going